Hi guys, it's the seventh of my public speaking challenge. I'm on a 30 days challenge, and the goal is to be able to speak with clarity, improve my confidence, get rid of camera shyness and anxiety, and that's all, improve my vocabulary, learning new words, tongue twisters, and every other thing. And what I have today on my task is read out loud for 5 minutes. The task: read a book with full clarity for 5 minutes. Let's get going. I'll be reading from The Mountain Is You. So let me get a chapter. I want to guess. I want to start from as in a fresh chapter. Oh, chapter 3. Your triggers are the guides to your freedom. Now that you have begun to identify your self-sabotaging behaviors, you can use them to uncover deeper and more important truths about who you are as a person and what you really want and need out of life. This is an important part of the process because overcoming self-sabotage, defeating habits, is not just only knowing what they are or why we engage in them. It's also about better understanding what our inherent needs are, what we usually desire, and how we can use this as a pivot point to begin building a life that is aligned with who we really are and what we are here to do. Our triggers do not actually exist just to show us where we are storing unresolved pain. In fact, they show us something much deeper. Each negative emotion we experience comes with a message, one that we do not know yet how to interpret. This is when a single challenge begins to become a chronic issue. Unable to honor and use the guidance of the emotion, we shut the feelings down, store it in our bodies, and try to avoid anything that brings it up again. This is when we become sensitive to the world around us because there are a lot of preserved feelings mounting. On the surface, it seems as though that the things that trigger our on the surface, it seems as though that things that trigger our emotional response is the problem. It is not. The problem is that we don't know what to do with how we feel, and therefore we do not have all the emotional processing skills we need. When we can identify why something is triggering us, we can use the experience as a catalyst for the release and positive life change. How to interpret? Negative emotions. Though everyone's particular triggers are unique to them, it helps to better understand the function of some of the feelings that we often condemn. Sometimes, some of the emotions that most strongly connected with self-sabotaging. Some of the emotions that are mostly some of the emotions that are most strongly connected with self-sabotaging behaviors are actually important for us to understand better. It is not about simply getting over them. It is about listening to what they are trying to tell us about our experience. Anger. Anger is a beautiful, transformative emotion. It is mischaracterized by its shadow side, aggression, and therefore we try to resist it. It is healthy to be angry, and anger can also show us important aspects that we are and what we care about. For example, anger shows us where our boundaries are. Anger also helps us identify what we found to be unjust. Ultimately, anger is trying to mobilize us to initiate action. Anger is transformative, and it is often the peak state we reach before we truly change our lives. This is because anger is not intended to be projected onto someone else. Rather, it's an influx of motivation that helps us change what we need to change within our lives. When we do not see it as such, we tend to bury it, not ever resolving the real issue at hand. This is when anger starts to cross over to aggression. When we talk the energy when we take the energy out of those around us as oppressed to using it as impetus to change our lives. Instead of being afraid of anger, we can instead use it to help us see our limits and priorities. Instead of, instead of instead of being afraid of anger, we can instead use it to help us see our limits and priorities more clearly. We can also use it to help us make big important changes both for our lives and the world around us. Oh, am I up to 5 minutes? Yes, I am. Don't judge me. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on my next video. Don't forget, I'm open for correction, I'm open for suggestion, and I am working on improving myself. I am not here to teach anyone. I am not here to position myself as an expert, but rather I am learning publicly. And yeah, thank you so much. See you on my next video. Bye.